situations really haven't changed a whole lot. You certainly got a lot nicer facility and a lot nicer equipment. But you know, nobody ever complained, did they?
No, I was just thinking the other day about when, you know, when we used to park, we got the walk-in van and we used to park it in the garage next to the last, was Marston's cafeteria down at Town and Country Plaza.
Yeah.
And I want to take a minute too, you know, to welcome JD with the Escambia County Emergency Management and Jim Sanders with acting fire chief of Escambia County.
And fortunately, I think other than JD, we kind of all grew up together.
Yeah.
We can tell lies about each other. Why don't, if you don't mind, could we start and kind of go around the room and just let everybody kind of give us who you are, what you did on the rescue squad, and how many years ago, and what you talk with Mr. Edwards. He's a senior man in the group. He's the guy that I think first got us wet.
Yeah, I'm just thinking here as you're going over all this. As I remember, search and rescue, it was a name. I don't think it was a boat owned by anybody. And whatever people had, you know, they used. But there was no such thing as equipment and so forth. And goodness. And this is my first trip into this building. You look at what you've got now.
Mr. Edwards, I remember one of the hardest things they had to do. One of the hardest things that they had to do was give gasoline to the volunteers. We had the oil companies giving, you know, remember fuel, and trying to get people to take fuel. No, I don't need any fuel. I'll pay for that. I'll do that. The rainwaters, Coca-Cola. We drank a lot of Cokes. Remember that? The rainwater.
Oh, yeah.
There were people involved that you couldn't even begin to fathom. They were peripheral, but they were there to lend support of what you needed. They may not have spent the night in the boat or underwater, but they were certainly there to lend support.
As I say, the beginning was just a name, search and rescue. And you couldn't look around and find anything that search and rescue owned, like you can now. Nothing.
We even had an ambulance. Remember that? We finally got the old 51 ambulance. Couldn't blow the siren because it killed the battery. Then you had to everywhere we went, we followed the wreckers. You know, because you could go out, but you couldn't come back. You know, so that's true. And then we started gathering a little bit here and a little bit there. But mainly it was the volunteers that brought their stuff.
You get calls from the police department that a car had run off the bridge or something. It was not a search and rescue calling. This was not an organization.
It was somebody to go do it, did it?
Yeah.
But,
So
I'm sorry, you threw.
search and rescue went from that.
Well, I'm proud to say that you come from good blood. Mac McGovern was one more man, and at the meeting at the health department, the dive commander was chosen, and it was Ray here. And with his background, you know, who in the world would want to follow somebody that could breath hold and go to the Russian freighter, shoot flounder, and then come up? Breath holding, not tank. I mean, he actually got introduced to tank probably through the Navy, and but hey, he didn't need it. But there was two of them at that time, and Buddy Roberts was the other one. But I would have followed him and Mac McGovern anywhere. You know, if they said, you know, except for septic tank, I figured there, it's too bad if you go
No, you just
there.
sent one of us.
But that's right. But I tell you, we had such a good life with him, you know, being the commander and all, and when he left it with me, I couldn't have asked for anybody else than these Navy guys, ex-Navy. They ain't nothing they wouldn't, I'm gonna have to say that Marine word too. And there wasn't nothing, no place that I know of that we wouldn't dive in after we tallied what we was into, like he said, deciding on
Y'all
what to do.
remember the first Jaws of Life that come to Escambia County?
I do.
First Mutual Savings Loan got them, and Search and Rescue and Civil Defense were responsible for them, and if they had an accident, they had to go load them up and take them wherever they was at, or sometimes you take them down and put them on life flight, and they fly them off to Alabama, and then y'all have to go chase them down and get them back, because when they loaded patients, they couldn't haul both of them. And then finally, the county bought a little old one-ton truck that wasn't really designed to carry everything that they piled on it. Jim can tell you about that, and that's where it ended up, in Brent Fire Department, you know, so, you know, we evolved from ambulance service and then the need, you know.
Sure, like I said, it's been the need. But I assume you're gonna be through, because if you're not, we won't be here till
No, I'm gonna say another thing. You people being volunteers, the only thing right now, if you were to say what is inside their brain, there's not a whole lot going on up here. But I do worry, because I am a volunteer and have been all my life, but my first thought is thank God for He has blessed this unit from day one. And that's first of all. But the second of all is, the only thing that kind of bothers me is this, not getting into politics, is this charter government. It kind of interferes with the volunteer group. They want to appoint everybody. Well, you are looking at this man right here. I taught all the people in McGovern's ambulance company, first aid. Then I went to the sheriff's department of Escambia County under Untriner and the one before him, Bill Davis, and trained all them people in first aid so they'd be certified and ready for OSHA. Then I went to Gulf Power, all their whole system did the same thing there. And I was the first one to get caught by OSHA. But anyway, that just shows you. And I've got to tell y'all what his dad always said, Mr. McGovern. He was such a, well, no, don't say it, Andy, ass. He wasn't. He was a man. He was dad. He said, you know, people out in Bellevue just raised Cain with me, bud, about those mosquitoes. He said, they're just toting everybody off out there. He said, you know what? He said, I went out there. I sent 2 trucks. Not one, I sent 2 trucks out. They sprayed that whole place. And he says, I just received a phone call and also in the mail. I've been cited and sued because I killed every catawba tree out there in just to kill a few mosquitoes. So you can't help nobody.
And I venture to say some of the rescue squad drove some of the mosquito trucks too. I mean, everybody you know boundaries.
But you had a man that didn't do anything for anybody, and then, you know, there's always repercussions coming back. So if you do something good, somebody's gonna hate you.
But like I said, it's a lot different today than it was when we did it. We didn't know any better. We just did it.
But I tell you what, I'm proud to know, with being ex-Navy, I'm a little bit partial and diving, but when it comes to the military, when I hear these people down here in Shalimar and all them places griping about the noise, hey, listen, I'm up here in Atmore, the other side, and there was little old Texans they just got. They gonna be flying all around up there. I love it. I love to go out and hear them go, you know, making their little dives around. Hey,
It's a sound of freedom, bud.
And when I hear these things about people, you know, in rescues and all that, and we are living in a terrible time right now, but again, it goes right back to what that man was saying. And this one right here, hey, I've been blessed just to know you people.
I think we've all been blessed.
And I thank God for letting me be here to see you and hear you. Go ahead.
Let me give you one example of, it's a wonder that some of the old guys are still around.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
when we first got tanks, of course, nobody had any kind of instruction. One, 2, or 3 that ever had a tank, you know. But the only way we could fill a tank, the Navy Yard had compressors that would fill one. Skippers, no, they didn't have it then. So a friend who was in the Navy, I shouldn't tell this kind of stuff because today they probably have us under the jail for it. But he would take